Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. Julian here for another episode of pre-season content. In this one, I am going to be rating your teams for those of you that have already drafted and submitted your teams to me on Discord. For those of you who haven't yet submitted your teams on Discord, you can still do so. I'm thinking of making a second one of these videos to be released in a couple days. So if you want me to do the same thing with your team, in the description below, there's a link to my Discord. Join my Discord, and in the Rate My Team section, drop a photo of your team round by round. I want to see what you drafted each round, and I'll be sure to rate it in the next video. I'm looking to release that on Thursday. Before we jump into it though, guys, drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you do want to take your support to the next level, there's a join button right there down below, or you can join my Patreon. The link is also in the description below. And by joining my Patreon, you get access to lots of stuff like my full draft rankings. You get to DM with me, ask me any fantasy hockey questions you have, as well as early access videos, because I often upload videos earlier than they actually go live. And without further ado, let's jump right into it, guys, and let's take a look at some of the teams that were submitted. Alrighty, so the first person that submitted a team is William here. And this is a 12-man head-to-head points league. Okay. The setting in the league is weird. Goalies and center gain way more points. Interesting. I assume that means face-offs get you points or something like that. But let's take a look at the team. I'm a little sad he didn't put the round by round, but let's take a look anyway. He's got Tim Stützle, Thomas Hertl. Both of those guys could have really great seasons. Rantanen as well. Philip Forsberg, Martin Necas, Nikolai Ehlers. That's a pretty solid forward core. Uyghur, Riley, Parayko. I like. D'Angelo is great as long as he does get that power play one in New York. He's underrated, but he has to get that power play one, because if Schaefer makes the team, there's a chance that Schaefer could get it. Joel Eriksson, who I love, a great steal. Zuccarello is actually injured for a bit, but if you can stash him on IR, I think Zuccarello could have a huge year despite his age. Brian Rust and Pavel Buchnevich are also guys that could have good years, and you got them pretty late, I'm sure. Then we have Dylan Cousins, Mason McTavish, and Dylan Guenther. Now, it looks like Cousins and McTavish are your only natural centers, so despite you drafting them late, it looks like you should be able to fit them oftentimes in your lineup, which is great. And you drafted early, which means you probably got Mason McTavish at a huge discount considering he wasn't signed at the time. And I also love your goalies, Connor Hellebuyck, Jussi Saros, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Now, I like this team. I don't think there's a true first rounder here unless Mikko Rantanen reverts to that form. And the defense are also a little weak, especially if Riley doesn't get power play one. That's really the only risk with drafting Riley this year, is that he doesn't get that top power play time. But if he does, and D'Angelo also does, this team could be really, really deadly. I'll give this team a solid B+. Let's get to the next team, submitted by Mino Gino. And it looks like he drafted Brady Tkachuk, 4th overall. Oh my goodness. This is a categories head-to-head, goals, assists, shots, game-winning goals, face-off wins, shorthanded points, hat tricks, blocks, hits, PIMs. Okay, in a hits PIMs league, I could understand taking Brady Tkachuk so early. I understand that. That's fine. Rantanen at 17 is not bad. If he does have a bounce-back year, that could be 2 first-rounders in the first 20 picks, which is fantastic. And you've got Mackenzie Weegar. That's a bit early to pick Weegar. Hopefully he does stick with the first power play this year. Although even if he doesn't, his peripherals are really, really great to give you a safe floor every single night. So it shouldn't be too bad. Jason Robertson on a contract year should be super deadly this year. So I like that. Quinn Hughes at 44. That's actually pretty late for Quinn Hughes. I get that in this league, a lot of categories are considered, like penalty minutes, and a lot of categories that Quinn Hughes doesn't really thrive in. So I understand why he dropped, but that's still a great placement for him. And then Moritz Seider, that's phenomenal too, especially with all those categories. Moritz Seider is going to feast on a lot of those categories. Dylan Guenther at 64, I like. Matthew Tkachuk at 77 might be a tad early, but if you're able to do well with this team, despite having Matthew Tkachuk on your IR, you're going to be looking really, really good come playoff time. Brandon Hagel is another excellent pick, in my opinion. I think that he is being super undervalued. So at 84 in the 9th round, that's crazy. Blackwood in the 10th round, that's absolutely insane value. Like, I can't believe he fell that far. Sorry to tell you, buddy, but Barkov is going to be missing the whole season. Looked like a real steal in round 11, but since this draft, unfortunately, he is going to be missing the whole year. So you can hope and pray and hold him on an IR spot if you have lots of IR spots. But in all likelihood, he's not going to play a single game this year. Then Alex Tuck of the Buffalo Sabres is a crazy steal in round 12. I like that. Mika Zibanejad, another great steal in round 13. Although, I believe this is an ESPN league. Mika Zibanejad does not have right-wing eligibility in ESPN. In Yahoo, he does. If he does play right wing like he's projected to, he could gain that, though, which could make him even more valuable. Then he took Linus Ullmark, which is crazy late, great value. Hurdle, another great value pick. Lane Hudson, this late, I love him. I was telling people to stay away from him because he was going top 50. At 157, that is great value for a guy who could score 80 to 90 points. Gabriel Landeskog is a shot in the dark. I don't know how much he's going to bounce back, but you can hope and pray. Noah Hanifin, someone that I like as a handcuff to Shea Theodore. It doesn't look like you drafted Shea Theodore, so if you need to, he's droppable probably. Karel Vejmelka is a really, really good third goalie, and then Matt Duchene this late is crazy value, so good job. And I think this is a fantastic team. You're going to probably have to drop Barkov, but overall, you made some absolutely incredible picks in pretty much every round, and I'm going to give this team a solid A. Next is G. Nelly. And it's a 20-team head-to-head points league. He also added Koivunen and Nason on the waiver wire. Let's take a look. This is the scoring. So let's take a look at the scoring. We got goals, 2, 3, power play points, shorthanded points, game-winning goals, shots on goal. Okay, so hits are a thing. They're worth about the same as shots and blocks. So overall, pretty standard league scoring. And then goalies, yeah, nothing too crazy there. So pretty standard scoring here. So in the first round, we got Austin Matthews at 8th overall. That's such a good, that's such a great value pick. Also, the name of the team is hilarious. I'm not going to say that right now, though, but that's funny. Second round at 33 overall. So this is a super deep league, as he said. Rasmus Dahlin, I like him a lot, and Uyghur. So you really went defenseman early to make sure that you had solid D-man. I don't hate that strategy. You kind of sacrificed forwards early, although you did get Matthews, and Seth Jarvis is an insane value pick at 88. Dylan Guenther as well. So despite sacrificing forwards early, you still got some really solid ones. I don't know how you got Dylan Guenther at 113, but man, is that great value. Seth Jones is a great fourth defenseman. Lucas Distal and Karel Vejmelka and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen should make for a pretty good goaltending core for your team, especially with Anaheim getting all those off nights, which means you're probably going to be able to start almost all those goalies quite a bit. Then we got Sean Monahan, Alexander Romanov, Marco Kasper, Jake Neighbors, Coronado, Pinto, and Samoskevich. So it looks like you definitely have been watching my videos. I did call out a lot of these guys as steals, especially like guys like Romanov in leagues that count a lot of peripherals. Romanov could be really good. Same with Monahan. Coronado, somebody that I talked about in my preseason content. And Samoskevich is somebody that I talked about could be really valuable if more injuries happen in Florida. And guess what? Not only is Tkachuk out, but Barkov is too. That means Samoskevich probably immediately gets top 6 deployment and top power play time. I could see him having a sneaky good year. I really, really, really like this draft. And I'm going to give this draft an A as well. All right, the next one is submitted by B. He says it's a Dynasty Real Salary Cap Points League. Goals, assists, wins, shutouts, plus 2 10-man protection. Okay. With 2 extra less than 10 game played spots. Okay, let's just take a look at the team. I don't fully understand what you're saying, but let's just look at the team and see if I like it. So I don't think he picked the players in this order, but I do like a lot of the players on the team. Voronkov, Leonard, I'm not sure has a great year this year because it's going to be tough for him to crack the top 6 in Washington, but he could be great in the future. So for Dynasty, that's not horrible. Werenski, Dahlin, Yossi, Buem, Sanderson, D'Angelo. Holy crap, your defense are absolutely crazy good. Yeah, your defense are going to be hard to beat. So that explains why your forwards are a little bit weaker. And then you got Stuart Skinner on goalie, and you also have Jet Greaves and then Boone Jenner. I like this team a lot, actually, and I think this team could go pretty far. Yeah, especially if Werenski and Josi can stay healthy, this team is going to be pretty competitive. This is a solid A. The next guy is Mason of the Kin, and he says it's a 10-man league, head-to-head points, 6 points for a goal, 4 for an assist, 1 point for a shot. So shots are actually super valuable in this league. Okay. Also hits and blocks. Okay. All right. So peripherals are really valuable in this league. So let's take a look here. Kaprizov at 9 is such good value. Pasternak at 12. I don't know how he fell to 12. Who the heck's in your league? Reinhardt at 29 could be good. I'm just a little bit worried of Reinhardt now just because we don't have Barkov anymore to feed him the puck, nor do we have Tkachuk. But hey, he'll have to step up and really shine. So we'll see how good Reinhardt could be. Clayton Keller at 32 is pretty good. Jesper Bratt, I like him as well. Roman Josi at 52, that's a good gamble to make. Aiden Hill, he should be really good, although there is rumors that Vegas is going to sign Carter Hart. If he does, Aiden Hill might get a little bit less of a starter role and might split a little bit more, kind of like he did with Samsonov last season. Maybe give Samsonov 1 out of every 3 starts. That's how it worked. So maybe he'd give Hart every 3rd start or so. And then if Hart plays well, he could even work himself into a timeshare. The good news, though, is that if Hart does get signed by Vegas, he would only start in December. So Aiden Hill should be good value. Seth Jarvis is somebody who I absolutely love and great value at 72. Thomas Harley, Charlie McAvoy, Jackson Lacombe, Morgan Riley are his defense. I like that a lot. McAvoy is kind of what you see is what you get, but Thomas Harley could have a huge year this year being the top power play guy in Dallas. Jacob Markstrom is a great goalie, so 2 good goalies on this team. Dorofeyev could work out if he does get the top power play time. Velarde is going to get top line and probably top power play time again this year. Could be great value. And Logan Stankoven, I don't know how good he's going to be given that he may not get top 6 deployment in Carolina, but hey, I'd love to be proven wrong on that one. And worst case, he was your last round pick and you can drop him for somebody else. This is a very good team, and it's a solid A at the very least. So the next guy we're going to look at is Mr. DJ Schmertz, 5th overall. That's great value. I don't know how he fell there. Marner in the 2nd round is not bad. Uyghur in the 3rd should be good value. Vasilevsky all the way in the 4th round. That's not bad for a first goalie. You're guaranteed a lot of starts there, so that's going to be really good. I don't know if this is a points league or a categories league. Either way, these are good picks early on. Scheifele in the 5th. That's pretty good. The natural center probably could have waited till later, but Scheifele is going to have a good year. DeBrincat is good there. Meyer is great there as well. You've got a lot of positional eligibility already. Miro Heiskanen, I really hate that pick. There's a lot of better players you probably could have picked than Miro Heiskanen. I don't think he's going to get the greatest opportunity this year. I don't think he's going to have that many fantasy points, even though I think he's a phenomenal real-life defenseman and should have a really great year. Just for fantasy purposes, doesn't put up a lot of peripherals and probably won't put up much more than 40 points this year. Pavel Dorofeyev, if he does get the top power play spot, this is a fine pick for him, but could be a little bit of a reach, especially if he doesn't get that top power play spot. Dustin Wolf should be great in the 10th round. He should have himself another great year in Calgary. Velarde, top line, top power play, like that pick. Nugent Hopkins, all the way into 12th round, could definitely exceed that ADP. Zane Parekh, that's great that you kind of handcuffed Uyghur to make sure that you get the Calgary top power play guy no matter what. I like that. Boone Jenner, if he can actually stay healthy, is a phenomenal pick in the 14th round. Ekblad, I don't like that pick. I'm sorry. I think he's a great defenseman, just kind of like Heiskanen, but fantasy-wise, he's not going to get top power play time this year, and his peripherals are okay. You'll get okay points, but like there are probably better options at this point. Although in the 15th round, maybe there weren't better options. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt there. Frank Vatrano looks like there in the 16th round. Should be decent. Anaheim's lines have him on the 3rd line right now. Depends if he gets power play time or not, but he may be significantly less valuable this year just because of all the talent they now have in Anaheim. Spencer Knight in the 17th round, though, is great value. Patrick Laine, if he can get top power play time, he should be good. Matheson, just drop him. He's going to have no fantasy value this year, so you're going to be dropping him really early. Same thing with Jonathan Toews. I don't really see him having much fantasy value this year. Overall, this is a decent team. I'd probably give you somewhere between a B and a B minus though. But overall, other than the Heiskanen pick, there's nothing that's glaringly bad. All right, so next we're going to take a look at Farrah Fox's team. He's in a 12-man league, and it looks like first overall, he took Nathan MacKinnon, which is fine. I probably would have taken McDavid, but they're both going to have great years. You can't go wrong with either of those guys. Sam Reinhart, 24th overall, should be fine. He's really going to have to prove himself, though, without Barkov and Tkachuk. Jake Gensel at 36 is good. Morrissey at 37 is definitely a reach, but in this year, you have to reach for defensemen, so I don't hate that. Dylan Guenther at 60 is good value. He's going way later than that, so you may have been able to get him later, but it's probably safer than to be safe than sorry. Alex DeBrink at 61 is good. Then you kind of went for a defenseman at Chychrun. He should have a decent year. He's on the top power play, so should continue to put up some points. Shesterkin and Kadri are both good picks. Then he took Luke Hughes. I hope that he proves me wrong this year, but I don't love him this year. He's going to need to be on that top power play, and he's going to need to do a lot better peripheral-wise to be valuable. Fantilli is an awesome pick. Saros is a good pick. So late, that's such a good value pick. Colton Parayko at 156 overall, that's an absolute steal, especially if peripherals are big in your league. Devon Taves, same thing, pretty good value as late as you got him. Zuccarello is injured, but yeah, I think he's going to be great once he comes back, so hold on to him, put him on an IR spot. Cole Perfetti, someone who could have a huge year this year just because he could be on the top power play with Ehlers now being shipped off to Carolina. Alexi Protas is someone who had an awesome year last year and definitely won't be able to replicate it, but at 204th overall, a guy who's getting top 6 minutes, pretty hard to go wrong with that. Marco Kasper at 205 is crazy good value. Could have a breakout year. Connor Garland, I kind of like. There's not much talent left in Vancouver. If he gets top power play time, he could be really good. And Evgeny Malkin, you're probably going to end up dropping him. He doesn't have too much value at this day and age anymore, unfortunately. Overall, though, that's a fantastic draft, and I'm going to rate it a solid A minus. Okay, now we got another draft from Mr. L, and he's feeling pretty good about it, so let's take a look. He drafted 5th overall, got Nikita Kucherov. Cannot go wrong there. Artemi Panarin at 20. That's not bad. Philip Gustafson, 29. Hopefully, he doesn't have an off year, but if he has a good year, that's a decent pick. Lane Hudson at 44. I'm sorry, that's an awful pick. Unless you have no peripherals in your league at all. Lane Hudson is an amazing player. I love him, and he could put up 80 to 90 points. The problem is he puts up 0 peripherals at all. If peripherals are not important in your league, then honestly, that's fine. If peripherals are big in your league, I don't think that's a good pick. Same with Bedard. 53, it's a little early for me. He could have his breakout, but Chicago didn't add anybody to help him do so. So that's a bit early to me. Michkov at 68 is fine. I think he'll have a really good year this year. Dougie Hamilton is somebody I don't love. He's super injury prone, and he could lose top power play to Luke Hughes. Jackson Lacombe, I like that. Quinton Byfield at 101, I don't like that. He's not a great fantasy player. He doesn't put up that many peripherals. He puts up points, and he should have good deployment, so that's okay. But at 101, that's a tad early for me. Steve Buem, that's a great pick. Swayman is a good pick at 125. And Cutter Gauthier I like at 140. At 149, Cole Perfetti is a great pick. I think he has a great year this year. Stuart Skinner, that's a steal. Parekh is a steal. And Tippett could be a steal there as well, depending where he plays. Overall, I didn't like some of your early picks, so I cannot give this draft more than a B minus. But this team could still be competitive depending on your league settings. Next, we have Mr. Greg Smith, and he just had his draft. Let's take a look. 6th overall, somehow we got Leon Draisaitl. I don't know how people are letting Draisaitl fall at 6th. That's kind of crazy. Aiden Hill at 19 is a bit early, but that's okay. Jake Gensel, maybe goalies went super early since Hill at 19 is kind of insane, actually. So maybe goalies are just super valuable in this league. Jake Gensel at 30 is fine. Marchenko at 43 is a tad early, but he could definitely live up to that ADP. Jordan Bennington at 54. So yeah, it looks like goalies are really going early in this draft. So maybe he made a good decision to go with Hill and Bennington here. Dylan Guenther at 67 is good. Bedard at 78 could end up being good if he finally has that like breakout that we know he can. Carlson at 91 is okay. Other Carlson at 102 is okay. Drake Batherson at 115 is great value. Dostal at 126 I really like. Duchesne, Seth Jones, Tyson Forrester, I think you're going to end up dropping if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But Jusain and Seth Jones are great picks. Zuccarello is a great pick. Put him on your IR. Wait till he's ready. So it looks like Duchesne and Decord may have been keepers, which explains why he got Decord so late. So that's good. Kiefer Sherwood at 198. That's great value, especially if there are hits in your league. He could be really, really good for you. And Alexi Protas at 211 is fine value. I think this is a pretty good draft. Again, I think you went a little early on goalies. I'm not sure what the reasoning is for that. So that's the reason I'm going to give this draft a B. Okay, and the last team we're going to review is from somebody named N, or does probably have a full name, but it's not displaying for whatever reason. So it's a 10-team points with some buddies. I'm not sure if that means pure points or point space, but let's take a look at the roster. He's got Buchnevich, Cooley, Hughes. So this is obviously not the order that they were drafted, but these are the players that he has. Kempe, Konechny, Necas, Rantanen, Scheifele, Thomas. And it looks like everyone's just a forward. So guys like Cooley, who are going pretty late, you probably got great value on because instead of being a center, he's just a forward in this league. So you probably did get some good value on some of these guys, like Scheifele and Thomas. In terms of defense, you got John Carlson, Dougie Hamilton. Hopefully he stays healthy, man. Makar, wow, that's good. That's a great pick, obviously. Montour, Parayko, it's pretty solid. And then utility, he's got Sherwood, and then on the bench, he's got Cooley, Fowler, McCann. I hope you have hits in your league because these two guys will do really good for that, and they should put up decent points as well. Fowler as an extra D is fine, and McCann as an extra forward is pretty good as well. So overall, I think this is actually a pretty good team, and I'm going to give this a solid A-. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I'll catch you all in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.